What is up, everybody? It's J Nell here with my predictions for UFC 129 this Saturday, April 30th, and it should be a pretty good event. I want to go ahead and apologize to the people who saw my video from yesterday from Salt Lake City because it was all stop, go, stop, go. Please watch this one. It's better, and I got some lovely art for you. It's a cool scenery as well. So let's go ahead and get right into this. This should be a pretty good fight card. It's going to be pretty exciting. I'm going to start off with Nate Diaz and Rory MacDonald. As you guys know, Nate Diaz is my boy. I always pick him. And he's coming off of a very impressive loss. And what I mean by that is it was against Dong Hyun Kim. And if there was about a minute to 2 minutes more in the fight, I'm almost positive that he was going to win. He lands a kick to the face, about a minute left of the fight, lands a kick to the face, gets him up against the fence. He's breaking him down. He got like his third win. He was shots to the body, shots to the head, elbows, knees. If he had about a minute more to the fight, I'm almost sure he would have won. So I think he's going to be really hungry for this fight. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be on top of his game. This guy, Rory MacDonald, his record is 10-1-0. So, you know, and there's always a chance. I haven't seen him, so I can't give too much of an opinion, but I'm definitely going to call this for Nate Diaz. The next one I want to mention real quick is Vladimir Matyushenko and Jason Brills, both heavyweights, both wrestlers. It's probably definitely going to go to the ground. It might possibly have a knockout in the first like minute, but if that doesn't happen, this might just be like the most boring fight of the night because it's just going to be bodies rolling around the ground. It's going to be slow. These aren't the Cain Velasquez, like, you know, muscle-bound heavyweights. These are the other kind. So that one might be a little slow. I'm going to go straight to the co-main event of the night, which is Jose Aldo and Mark Hominick. Both featherweights. Jose Aldo is a featherweight champion of the UFC, and he is amazing to watch. If you haven't seen this kid, look him up on YouTube, Google him, whatever you got to do. He is explosive. The kicks, the Muay Thai. He is a 4-time Brazilian world champion. He trains with Anderson Silva, and his Muay Thai kicks and knees looks like Anderson Silva's. He is just amazing. I saw him land a double knee. I've never seen this before. He jumps up, hits the guy in the face with both knees before he hits the ground. It was amazing. He broke down Uriah Faber, who is incredible. Used to be featherweight champion himself. Great fighter. He destroyed his leg. Black and blue. Every time he touched the leg, Uriah Faber would fall on the ground. He just had nothing. This kid, Jose Aldo, I mean, he's my fighter to watch. I mean, they say the featherweights don't have knockout power, that they're not as exciting, but Jose Aldo, check this guy out. So I'm calling it for him. The next fight I'm going to talk about, which for a lot of people is the actual co-main event just because of the names, is Randy Couture and Lyoto Machida. Now, this one is kind of tricky because Lyoto Machida is coming off of 2 losses and kind of 3 by his own admission, because the first title defense against Hua, he even admitted that he probably should have lost that fight. Then, of course, he had the second defense where he did lose the fight, and then he had his last fight against Rampage Jackson, and he lost that fight too. But honestly, to me, that was a draw. To me, that needed 5 rounds. It just kind of, they didn't really even get started until that 3rd round. So they both had energy after. They weren't hurt, nothing. And, you know, they're used to fighting 5-round fights. So it was kind of disappointing. It was disappointing. So Machida is definitely looking to get back on his game. Randy Couture is coming off some wins. Of course, the James Toney ridiculousness. Well, he beat him in like, what was it, 15 seconds. It was ridiculous. And then before that, it was Mark Coleman coming off of 2 strong wins. But for me, it's like, when is Randy Couture going to get old? He's been fighting some old guys. He's been beating the old guys. He's going to get up against Machida, who is definitely still in his prime, and, you know, he's at the top of his game. Hopefully, we'll see. He's trying to get back. So for me, it's a matter of, can Randy Couture get a hold of Machida? Can he get him on the ground? Can he get him up against the fence with the dirty boxing? If he can get a hold of Machida, especially on the ground, I believe he has a shot to win. Machida, with the karate, with being so elusive, so hard to hit, and so deceptively strong, if he can keep it on the ground and keep space in between him and Randy, I believe Machida could win. So this one's hard for me to choose, and I rarely do this, but I'm gonna call it for Machida. I am. I'm sorry, Randy. I'm gonna call it for Machida. Okay, next fight. Boom. All right, on to the main event. We've got my boy, who I always talk about, GSP, George St. Pierre, welterweight champion, against Jake Shields, who, if you haven't seen him, it's because he fights for Strikeforce and Elite XC a lot. He hasn't lost in 2 years. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he got his black belt from Cesar Gracie. And you know, if you get your black belt from the Gracie camp, your black belt is better than other black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You're awesome. Jake Shields is a very good fighter. This is going to be probably the biggest test for George St. Pierre in at least a year. His last fight against Josh Koscheck, the one before that against Dan Hardy, yeah, they talked a lot of trash, but he manhandled him, ruled him. He just, with ease, you know what I mean? And people talk a lot of trash about George St. Pierre because they say he's boring, but I don't blame him. If I can win a fight with the least amount of damage to myself, I'm going to do that. He's been the champion for 2 years. So, hey, it's working, right? I would do the same thing. However, Jake Shields, I think, is going to force him to fight, especially if he gets it to the ground, because he's going to look to submit. He's a very active ground fighter. Jake Shields, he's got hands too. He's going to fight him. I think this could be a very, very good fight. It's definitely not going to be the normal George St. Pierre just manhandling a guy. I don't think so. So, both of these fighters haven't lost in 2 years. This is going to be, it's hard to call, but I'm going to be biased. I have to, and I'm going to call it for GSP. So, there you go. And, yeah, that's it for this video. Of course, my challenge to attain a better quality of life is still out there, and that doesn't mean more money, more materialistic things. It just means a better quality of life, trying to be happy. And, ladies, make your own money, sign your own checks. Bye-bye.